has been a minute since we have done a track day, the last one being back in April of last year. But me and the GTR, the R32, are back on the track, this time around back again at the local track. Before we get deep into it, if you're here to just see some onboard footage, go ahead and refer to the timestamps in the description, or you can also refer to the timeline. You can skip right to wherever you want to watch. Now, that being said, this event, this time hosted by the SCCA, the local region SCCA, at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway on the outside road course. But unlike last time, this is the short course, so we cut in a little bit earlier. Now, this event was a regular track day, but there was also a time trial going on at the same time. I did not enter into the time trial, mainly because I wasn't sure how the car was going to be, especially now we have the added power and the extra boost. I wanted to make sure the car was good to go before I did any time trial stuff, plus I wasn't super interested in that kind of thing. That being said, it was a 3-session day, each session about 20 minutes, and the day got pretty spicy. I was mainly just trying to kill off this old set of tires I've been running all last season, the RT660 Falcons. It was mostly cloudy all day, cold, and towards the end it started sprinkling a little bit. It didn't really make the track wet, but it got a little drizzly, so keep that in mind. And without further ado, here is the first session out.
the rear wheels came off?
That you
Now, since this was the first road course event in the 32 with the additional power, I wasn't sure how the car was going to behave, so I was pretty tame for the most part. I also got stuck behind a lot of traffic this session, but it was nice getting to feel the car, feeling what the crowd was like in the group I was in, and just basically getting my bearings together in this first session. But it made for some fun little chases along the way. Now, after properly embarrassing myself at the very end of the first session, we're going into session 2, but before we got into session 2, I noticed that my tire pressures had actually gone up to like 42 psi. I actually set them about 32 psi cold. They had skyrocketed to 42 psi, and that's why I think the car was sliding around so much during the first session. Driver excuse. But went ahead, lowered the pressures back down to what I thought was right, and went back out. Second session, a bit more boring, not a lot happened, but I was a lot more comfortable in the car and getting a feel for it. This particular road course is kind of tricky. A lot of the turns, it's very flat. It looks simple, but a lot of late apexes, and so I'm still learning after all this time, trying to figure out what kind of driving line is most optimal for the car and this track. So bear with me as I try to figure this out this session. Also, after the first session, my pedal cam just kind of stopped working, so I do apologize for that. the group I was placed in, these events usually they split you up by experience groups. So there's novice, intermediate, advanced, and then you have advanced group. Regardless of what run group, you're only allowed to pass on point buy. So the person in front of you has to point you by before you can pass. Now that being said, the group I was in, which is intermediate advanced, it was a really weird mix of people who were quite slow in a lot of sections and people who were ludicrously fast. Specifically in the last session, you might have seen the super fast. There's a guy in a McLaren and a gentleman in a newer C8 who were just booking it. I tried to keep up with the C8 for a minute, but it just wasn't happening. But going into session 3, I noticed that it was starting to drizzle a little bit. It was starting to sprinkle a little bit. It was raining, but it come down to a sprinkle. And by the time we got on track, we were worried that it was going to be wet, but it actually held off for the most part. That being said, the track, although the track was dry, the painted lines and the painted sections of the track were a bit slick. So you might see that throughout the video, but I was trying to avoid that. I was pretty timid because I wasn't sure how the car was going to behave in the wet. So I was taking like a weird mix of a dry, wet line that I really probably didn't need to be running. But that being said, I was trying to avoid some of the rumble strips. But this session, I was just trying to have fun and maybe try to get sideways since it was a little cooler out and it was starting to get a little wet. Well, guys, that is about it for the video. 3 sessions throughout the day. Usually the sessions are, there's 4 sessions in a day, but this day there's only 3. Had a blast. Like I said, this is mainly a test and tune day for me. So I was really just trying to get acclimated with the car and seeing what needs to be changed. The brake pedal towards the end of that session there was starting to go to the floor. It was starting to fall off quite a bit. So another thing to look into. But I definitely had a blast. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you enjoyed this video, I have many other track day oriented videos on my channel. Be sure to check those out as well. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Hope y'all enjoyed, and hope to see you again in the next one. Take it easy.